Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our Move In Live for Move In 2025. We're so excited to talk to you about the process this evening. My name is Michael, and I've got some colleagues in the room with me that will be talking you through the process. I've got Monel and Sarah here. And then in our Zoom Q&A, we've got Caitlin and Catherine answering some questions, and Adeline is on our Facebook Q&A for those questions. And we have our production pro, Ricky, in the room with us as well. So let's dive in. We encourage you to put in some chats and comments in the chat function if you're joining us via Zoom, but all of your questions that you'd like to get answers for can go in the Q&A section. This is primarily going to focus on our first year students move-in process, which is going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, August 15th through 17th. Everyone is going to begin their day at the staging lot on River Road across from the veterinary school. And then you will get settled in and ready for Welcome Week, which will start on Monday, August 18th. And that'll be the final part of your Bengal Bound orientation experience. If we have any sophomores or upper division students, grad students on with us this evening, your move-in is going to be August 22nd and 23rd, that following weekend. And those folks will be living in East Campus apartments, West Campus apartments, and Nicholson Gateway apartments. But again, this webinar this evening is going to focus primarily on our first year students, since that is a much more involved process. For our upper division students, you're going to miss the craziness and the busyness of campus during that first weekend. And you won't go to the staging lot. You're going to go straight to your apartment community's unloading zone during your selected appointment time. But for all of our first year students and their families, we're going to dive on in and we're going to start talking about important dates and the process.
All right. Hey, everybody. It's Monel. We're going to talk about room assignments. And if you are on here right now with us and you don't have a room assignment, we are continuing to make those as we move through the summer. We are currently don't have a wait list for our first year students, and room changes are not available at this time due to the amount of students we are still waiting to place with us in our incoming first year class. All right, on July 9th, remember that date, Tiger Card photo needs to be uploaded. That's the deadline to get your Tiger Card photo into the system. Next, we will have the move-in appointments. Those will be coming July 1 through July 25th. Let me see. All right, so move-in appointments, these are by building in alpha order. So there's no need to worry about competing for time slots with the other students that are also applying around campus. So yours will be specific to your building only. Your building time will be emailed to you before you guys move in August, and it'll be on your it'll be downloaded hang tags later. And then the last part of that process, when you're in the portal making your move-in assignment time slot, you will do the bed lofting. If you have a assignment with a bed that can be lofted, there are 3 different heights for bed lofting: low, medium, and high. And typically 33 inches is how far your bed is off the ground, in case you're trying to plan to put things underneath the bed. And no bed rails, will be requested during this time. Those will be done when you get to your hall at your front desk. And then in August, those digital hang tags will be available in your housing portal. You'll go ahead and print those before you head to campus in August. All right. And then when we're starting to talk about the different things to do when you get your move-in date and time, we're going to look at this video that shows how to access the portal. All right, so we're going through, and this opens on July 1st this year. You'll go ahead and select move in and then select move in for 2025. Pick the date that best suits your availability to come and move into the hall. You're able to reschedule your appointment time after you've done the initial time as you make any changes within your arrival to LSU. Everyone selects their own time. So if you and your roommate are choosing to come together and move into your room, please make sure that you are both selecting the same time. All right. We've done the math already, so you don't have to. And we figured out how many people can fit in our unloading zones on campus, in the buildings, to make everything flow smoothly and quickly and most efficiently for all our incoming Tigers. Let's see. Each day, there's a certain number of time slots per building, per area of campus. So we want to make sure that no one is using more time than necessary. If you do choose Friday on your portal, that is an additional $200 charge for that early arrival. That will go to your fee bill. Also, this is graduation day, but we don't expect there to be many issues because we've provided enough time for both graduation and move in that day. It's the same experience as you would have on Saturday or Sunday. Friday is just an opportunity to come in a little earlier if you choose to do so. Nobody is forced to choose to come in at that time, but it is an option that is available for you all. All right, so go ahead and complete that. At the end of it, as you can see in this video that's showing currently, you'll see the process where you can loft your beds high, medium, middle, and low for those rooms that have the loftable furniture. Now, this will be done in the move-in time slot, and then it'll be ready for you when you are at your room during check-in. And remember, again, bed rail requests are not done at this time. They will be done when you get to the halls during move-in. So your time slot when you're moving in is about 90 minutes from start to finish, not 90 minutes for you to unload your car. So 90 minutes from start to finish when you are going from the staging lot to your hall, getting your items unloaded, and then parking your car. That's so we can get as many Tigers into our halls quickly and as efficiently as possible. All right, make sure that if you have an 8 a.m. time slot, to plan for getting to your halls about 8:30, 8:45, and then going ahead and completing that unloading process within that time frame so we can get the next set of folks through the buildings. Most parents say it takes about 2 to 3 hours to pack a car or two, and it takes about 9 to 10 minutes to get unloaded at your building. Make sure to think about time frame for you all, your preferred arrival times. Think about your hotel check-in or travel time, traffic throughout the city, and drive time to campus. Go ahead and make sure you're logging into your single sign-on in your housing portal to get that information. The building you're living in, the building you're assigned to, excuse me, those are your assignments that you will receive. If for some reason your assignment does change to a different building, you will need to contact us or we will reach out to you if an assignment is changed to a different building. All right.
Welcome to LSU. We're so excited to welcome you to your new campus home. Let's take a look at what to expect during your move-in day to help the process go as smoothly as possible. Before you arrive on campus for your move-in appointment, place your move-in day tag on your car's rearview mirror. 2 hang tags will be emailed to your LSU email address in early August. Your hang tag is what allows you to drive on campus during move-in and helps LSU police get you to your first stop, so don't leave home without it. Your move-in day starts at the staging lot. You can bring a maximum of 2 vehicles to the staging lot, and each vehicle will need their hang tag for entry. When you arrive at the staging lot at your move-in arrival time, a volunteer will exchange your hang tag for a building hang tag. Then, you'll wait your turn while others ahead of you are moving into their residence halls. Make sure your building tag is displayed correctly, so volunteers can help direct you as you drive through campus. Once it's your turn to go to your new LSU home, you'll be directed to your building from the staging lot. After you arrive at your building, you'll have 15 minutes to unload your car. Make sure all boxes and bags are labeled with your last name, room number, and item number. This helps the move-in crew direct any lost items to the right location. Once you unload, make your way to your community's front desk with your Tiger card to officially check into your room. A family member or friend needs to stay with your car during check-in. And remember, if you're bringing a car to campus, you must be in a resident lot, green, zone 3, when campus reopens on Monday at 8 a.m. You and your guests are welcome to park in any legal spot during move-in, regardless of type, but campus returns to normal operations Monday. Once you're moved in, snap your final selfie, say goodbye to your crew, and head on in to meet your RA and new neighbors. In the meantime, complete your packing list, check your move-in arrival time, and get ready for your Tiger experience to begin. Welcome home to LSU.
Okay, welcome back. I'm Sarah, and I'm gonna go through some information about our staging lot and what you're gonna see there. I really hope you enjoyed the video from our excellent communications team. It really is a great portrayal of what your experience will be for the move-in process. But if you're someone like me who wants all the nitty-gritty details, we've got you covered. So let's get into that now. First, the time slot hang tags that were mentioned in the video will be available in the portal in August. We will send an email to your Tigers LSU email address in August to let you know when they're available to be printed. You should only print 2 copies of your hang tag because you are limited to 2 cars coming through the parking lot. Each student can only have 2 cars. We will say that several times throughout this presentation. If you don't have access to a printer, let us know and we can physically mail the hang tags to you. You should just email us at housing@lsu.edu. When you do get to campus, make sure you have them hanging from your rearview mirror, facing out and free from any obstructions. These are there to make sure our team can make sure you're in the right place at the right time. So when you arrive to move in, you're gonna head straight to the staging lot on River Road, and you cannot get there more than 5 minutes before your scheduled time slot. One of the most important things that we can communicate to you is that you need to stick to your scheduled time slot. We have this entire process mapped out by capacity because we will have more than 6,500 incoming Tigers and their families moving in throughout the weekend. We base our appointments on the exact number of cars that will fit in the staging area and the building and unloading zones where space is most limited and how many people we can have in the building. So please, please, please stick to your time slot. We understand that things happen. You know, if you get a flat tire on the way to the lot, we get it. We're gonna work with you, make sure you can get moved in. But if your hang tag says 2 o'clock and you get there at 11, we are gonna give you some restaurant recommendations and we will invite you to come back at 2 p.m. So as I said, 2 cars per student, no exceptions to that rule. If you try to bring a 3rd car through the lot, you will be turned away. That includes the student's car. So if your Tiger is bringing a packed car to campus that they want to unload at the building, that will count as part of your 2 cars. If you want to bring a truck with a trailer or a U-Haul, that also counts as 2 cars. This is due to limited space in the unloading zone. We just cannot fit more things. Please don't bring anything larger than a small U-Haul to campus. It's not needed. When you do get to the lot, if you're in a truck with a trailer or a U-Haul, you're going to pull all the way into our far back-end lane. And we have some drone videos later in this, and I can show you specifically what that will look like for you. If you have any other people coming to help you move in, they do not need to come through the lot. They should meet you at the building, park in one of our family and friends parking zones that you can see on our interactive campus map, and meet you at the building. Only cars that have belongings need to come through the lot to be unloaded. So when you get to the staging area, the first step you're gonna do is exchange your time slot hang tag with your color-coded building hang tag and get your wristband, excuse me. You must have the building hang tag to be able to unload at the building. If you get there and you don't have that hanging up, you will be turned away. Sorry. Has your building, the hang tag has your building or community abbreviation and is color-coded by community. So the directional signage throughout campus, as you drive to the building, you can follow either the name of your building or the color coding. For example, the Horseshoe community, which contains Annie Boyd, Highland, and Evangeline, you will receive a hang tag that is orange and it says HS for Horseshoe. As you drive to campus, you'll look for signs that say Horseshoe or orange signs. So whatever is easiest for you. Also, our hang tags will have a QR code on the back that links to the route on our campus map, so you can pull it up on your phone if you prefer to look at it that way. And a reminder on those hang tags, hang them on your rearview mirror, facing out, clear from obstructions. If you don't do that, there will be a lot of like crazy hand gestures, people yelling at you, so you gotta make sure those are up. Okay, so everyone who is gonna go into the building will need to have a wristband. Move-in is one of the only times our communities are really wide open, so this is important for our staff to know who is supposed to be in these buildings on each day. So if you have anybody who's gonna meet you at the building to help you move, let that volunteer know when they're exchanging your hang tags, and they'll give you some extra for the people you meet at the building. We don't have a guest limit for who you can bring, but try to keep in mind you will be moving into a small space, possibly at the same time as your roommate, and it can be a tight squeeze to get a bunch of people in there. So after you get your hang tag and wristbands, we will ascend you around to line up by building until there's room for you to head to your building to unload. Always, when you are in the staging lot, wait for us to release you. There will be volunteers everywhere, telling you where to go. Always keep your eyes up and pay attention to where we are telling you to go. So we have a couple of drone videos, with a bird's eye view of the staging lot, so you can know what to expect. If you want to get your bearings, you can see the softball park over in your bottom right-hand corner, and the river is right above you. You can see a line of cars near the top of the screen. That is River Road, and that is where you are going to come to have access to the lot. LSU PD will open the entrance at the time of the time slot, and you will line up where you see all those cars on the left to get your building hang tags and your wristbands. After that's done is when we release you around to the right side of the picture, where you will line up by building into our 2 rows of building corrals, which we will go into more detail on. When you arrive to exchange your building hang tags, you can pull up to any lane in front of our greeter tent. So in this big line of cars on the left, pull up to any one of those lanes in front of that white tent. However, please remember to stay in line behind whoever you're there with. Keep your two cars in line so that we can keep you all together as we move you through the process, and make sure you get to the building at the same time. So this is from the other angle. So we are over the river right now, facing campus. In the bottom right-hand corner, you can see the entrance where cars are going to be funneling in to the lot. You can see a really clear view of the 2 rows of building corrals on the right. You'll notice the one all the way to the, or on the left, excuse me, all the way to the left, you'll notice that row of corrals is larger. That is our larger capacity buildings. So you can kind of keep that in mind when you try to find your building in the lot. Okay, here is where you can see all the way to the right is where our U-Hauls and trucks with trailers are going to line up, which you can kind of seen. You also will be driving through this greeter tent. It's like a white tent with big openings. I know you're worried about your big pickup truck. It'll fit through, I promise. We've done tons of them. I know this looks like a lot of cars. This looks crazy, but I promise you, moves so fast. And we are gonna get every single person in for their time slot, even if they're the very last car in that line. So next, we are gonna go through what it looks like to drive through the slot to get to your building corral. So we're starting at the greeter tent. You're gonna wait for the volunteers in front of you to tell you when to leave. Like I said, we have 2 rows of corrals. So right now we're entering into our back row. You can see the flags here marking each corral. So McBoy, Acadian. This is one place that's really, really important to have your hang tag up so that our volunteers can direct you to the correct place. So, you're gonna look for your building and then you're gonna turn in front of the flag. So if you were going to, I think that's west, I believe, you would turn right here. If your building is not in that first row of corrals, you're gonna continue around to the front row here. So we are making that loop. Okay. Okay, as we make our turn, these are our larger capacity buildings, as you can see. I realize these flags can be kind of difficult to read here. I promise you it's easier when you get to the building, or when you get to the lot, excuse me. So we are heading to Herget Hall in this video. So we are going to get to our Herget Hall corral and turn in front of the flag. We generally have several lanes of cars within these corrals, so there will be a volunteer in front of you telling you specifically where you need to line up. And then you are going to wait right here. This is where you wait. And when they have a space for you to unload in front of the building, they will direct you there. So you'll get up to the front and you wait. You won't do what we do here. You'll stop. So once it's time to exit, they'll direct you to go this way. And you will turn towards the exit of the parking lot. And then you take a right onto Skip Burtman and head to your new home for the first time. Okay, so I'm gonna turn over to Michael to talk about the route to the building and what you'll do once you get there.
All right, we are going to pull up our interactive campus map, which is available through our Parking and Transportation Services website. And that will also be QR coded on your building hang tag you'll receive at the lot. So if you don't look it up until you get to the staging lot and we exchange your hang tags, you will be totally fine. We've worked with our partners in parking and LSU PD to design specific move-in day lots or routes from the staging lot to the specific buildings you are going to. All of the campus directional signage that will be out during move-in is going to be color coded to match your hang tag. So like Sarah said, if you're moving into Evangeline in the Horseshoe and you get that orange hang tag, you're going to keep an eye out for Horseshoe, which will have all the individual building names on the campus directional signage, and that'll all be along the orange route. But this is going to show you all the routes that you can take from the staging lot to specific buildings. And so you can select down to your specific building and it'll show you exactly how you need to navigate campus. But again, even if you don't look at this until the day of, or you don't look at it at all, we're gonna have signage and our partners out with parking and PD so that they can show you the way. Some of these routes might look a little crazy if you're familiar with campus. Don't worry about that. We've built these over the course of years to get you to your building through the most efficient route and to avoid everyone else that's also making their way around campus to our other communities. We want to avoid people having to make left turns and stop at red lights and wait for other move-in traffic. And so we try to keep you all out of each other's ways so that you can get to your building and unload and have a great smooth move-in experience all within that 90-minute time block. And again, all of this adventure is going to start on River Road across from the vet school at River Road and the Skip Burtman lot. And so you'll go there first with your appointment hang tag that you're going to download from the housing portal after you select your appointment time. We will then exchange that for your building hang tag that is color coded. And that's when you'll also receive your wristbands to gain access to the building and then wait in the staging lot in your building corral until you are released to your building. That is all within your 90-minute appointment time. And I promise, even if you show up a half hour into your appointment time and you don't get your building hang tag and into your corral until then, you will have plenty of time to get to your building to unload with time to spare. It's a very efficient process, and we've ironed it out. If you've ever been to Disney World or Disneyland, it's structured kind of like their ride lines. It's a pretty smooth experience. So when you get to your building to unload your vehicle, we really recommend that you have someone designated to stay with your vehicle. And if you are coming alone or with only one other person, let us know. We'll have staff outside the buildings managing those unloading zones, but it's going to be challenging for us to keep an eye on your vehicle while we're managing 30 other vehicles moving in and out of that unloading zone. We ask that you work quickly to unload your vehicle and stay with belongings. So if you're coming with a Tiger and 2 family members, then Tiger can go inside to check in while the 2 family members unload the vehicle, get everything out. Someone else can move the car once it's empty, and someone can stay with those belongings until you're ready to bring them inside. We ask that you move your vehicle as soon as you are done unloading it. Do not take time to set up your room, make your bed, hang your clothes, hang the pictures. Move that vehicle once it's empty, because we have over 6,500 people we're moving in within 3 days, and we need as much opening or as many openings in those unloading zones as quickly as possible to make sure that everyone gets through their appointment block and has the same smooth, exciting experience that you're having. We highly recommend that you label all of your boxes and all of your items. We ask that when you're labeling them, you put not only your building and room number, but your last name. And we also recommend you take count of how many items you've packed and do item 1 of 16, 2 of 16, etc., so that you can get to your room and make sure that you have all the items that you packed in your car and they've made it to your room. While we do have volunteers that are assisting with our move-in process, they are primarily designated to assist with our staging lot operations and some traffic management. And so there won't be anyone assisting you at the buildings to unload your vehicle and get them to your room. That will be your responsibility between our new Tiger and their family. And so again, it's really important that someone's staying with those belongings, keeping an eye on them, label them. We don't want anyone's belongings walking away or ending up in the wrong room, because that becomes very hard to track down. When the student is checking in, that should be the first thing you do when you arrive to the building. Student goes inside with their Tiger card. Don't stay to help unload. We want to get you checked in so you can gain access to your room as quickly as possible. And so we ask that students only go inside to the check-in station. We've got a few stations there to get you checked into your room, assign your key or your room access, and go over a few other parts of the check-in process before you are able to head off to bring your items into your room. Again, you're going to need your Tiger card for that. So remember that July 9th deadline to upload your photos so that the Tiger card office can get you your Tiger card and mail it to you. If you don't get it mailed to you or you don't get it in time, the Tiger card office usually works with us to distribute those that they have left over. And then we'll also have a limited number of temporary access cards that we'll rent out to students. The Tiger card office won't be open during move-in weekend, and so those will be active for a few days, so that during the first day or two of Welcome Week, you're able to stop at the Tiger card office and pick up your Tiger card, because that temporary access card will expire within a few days after we rent it out to you. The full check-in process, once you get to your building, takes about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the number of students that are currently going through that process. And so that's why we recommend that the student takes care of check-in while family members unload the vehicles and then remove that vehicle from the unloading zone. And here are a few highlights. All right, well, if that doesn't get you excited for move-in, I don't know what will. It is one of the best days of the year. We love it, and we're so excited to experience it with you. We know that there are obviously a ton of questions And we've got some that we are frequently asked that we're going to run through right now, and then we will get to the Q&A in the Zoom. So Welcome Week starts again on Monday, August 18th. That is required for all of our first year students. It is the final part of your Bangle Bound orientation experience. And you will receive more information about that, probably from the Welcome Week staff and the orientation staff. So don't worry about that just yet, but that is required and expected of all of our first year students. If you are arriving late and not moving in during that weekend due to travel arrangements or other circumstances, you should reach out directly to the orientation office so that they can be aware and make other arrangements with you. We often get questions about decorating rooms and what tools and supplies can be used for that. So let's be clear about some of those pieces. If you are interested in mounting your television to your wall, lose interest in that right now. We do not permit mounting anything in our communities, no power tools, no drywall, no cement patching. Please do not bring any of those items. The TV can go on the dresser or the desk, although you should be using the desk for studying, but no mounting TVs, please. We recommend push pins over command strips in our communities. Command strips tend to do a significant amount of damage to the paint, even when carefully removed. And when you check in, you'll receive a room inventory condition form, or an RICR, that is done digitally through your housing portal. Our staff will have inspected your room ahead of time, but we ask that you also review that to note any damages we might have missed. Anything that's not noted as a damage pre-existing when you moved in, you will be responsible for and likely charged upon checkout. And so if we don't note damages for command strips, and when you check out, there are paint damages, you'll be charged for that. So we really recommend push pins rather than command strips because they tend to do significantly less damage. They just leave a tiny hole in the wall, and that's easy for us to work with. Going into fall of 2025, there is a hard no on air fryers in all of our communities. So if you put that on your graduation wish list, or you're excited to make those zucchini fries or that air fryer pizza, I'm sorry to tell you, we do not permit air fryers in our communities. Unfortunately, we've had a number of bad incidents with air fryers over the last year or so, and so we've had to move forward with no longer permitting those. Regarding microwaves and refrigerators, you should be mindful of the wattage of both of those items. So microwaves should be 800 watts or less. Again, that's 800 watts or less. And refrigerators can be no larger than 5 cubic feet in size and need to be less than 150 watts. So there's been a number of questions in the Q&A about unloading and moving your car and coming back to the buildings or coming back a different day. And if you are moving in Friday or Saturday and then are interested in coming back the next day when you don't have a move-in appointment, you should be prepared to park further away from your building and walk a good distance. And this is a huge event for all of our students and their families, and we're excited for each of you. But we want to make sure that the spaces in front of our buildings and adjacent to our buildings are reserved as unloading zones for the people who have active move-in appointments during that time. If you're moving in on Friday or even early Saturday, you're going to have easy unloading with very few cars on campus. We would like that same experience for our Sunday afternoon arrivals because they deserve exactly the same ease of unloading as our early arrivals received. So make sure that you are checking that interactive parking map online and identifying the lots that are marked in yellow so that you know where you can park during the move-in process away from our communities. Students are not required to stay in their communities after they've moved in. And so if you have family that are staying in town for a few days, you are more than welcome to stay with them at their hotel or their Airbnb or wherever you're staying off campus. But getting back to campus might be a bit of a challenge. And so we recommend that you do that later in the evening or be prepared to walk that further distance from those outer lots. We know that move-in brings a lot of packaging material, cardboard boxes, styrofoam filler, shrink wrap, all of those pieces. We will have large roll-off dumpsters at every single one of our communities, and they will be right out front and easy to find. We ask that you bring all of your trash from the move-in process to those dumpsters. And if you have cardboard boxes or larger items, those should get broken down before getting added to the dumpster so that we don't overflow into the street. And that's not a fun process for anybody who has to pass by. You will receive your mailing address via email for receiving mail at the UPS store on campus. You won't be assigned that until after move-in, and so there's no opportunity for you to mail items in advance to campus to pick up as part of the move-in process. If you're interested in having items ready for pickup, we recommend using a ship-to-store option through individual retailers where you can order ahead and pick it up after you've moved in. But again, those mailboxes will be available, or that mailing address will be available to you after move-in through the UPS store. Our dining halls open on Saturday, and so especially for those folks who are selecting those early arrival Friday appointments, be mindful of that. Your meal plan will activate on Saturday of move-in, August 16th. And so if you're here on Friday, that won't be available to you until the next day. But then once those dining halls open, those meal plans are active through the fall semester. Again, bed lofting is requested through the appointment selection process, so you can review that on our website and decide how high or low you want your bed lofted, so you can be prepared to make that selection during the appointment selection process. And then we did also have a few questions about students coming to campus without a vehicle, or if you're out of state, or you're already planning on taking an Uber. If you are doing a ride share option, to make your way to the staging lot, you can let us know at housing@lsu.edu that you're in that specific situation so that we can be prepared to assist you. We don't want anyone having to incur the substantial Uber or Lyft fees by going through the entire process in one of those rideshare options. So just let us know in advance or flag us down when you get to the lot, and we will work with our team to make sure that we can assist you in that process. Nobody is permitted to go straight to their building without a building hang tag. And so all participants in the move-in process are required to go to the staging lot first. That is to make sure that traffic management on campus is maintained reasonably and that we are maintaining appropriate unloading capacities at our buildings. If you are interested in checking out your building ahead of time and you happen to be coming to campus, our communication staff offers tours throughout the summer, and that information is available through Bangle-bound orientation and on our website or by contacting housing@lsu.edu. We also have virtual tours available of all of our communities on our website at each of our community web pages and on our YouTube page. So we encourage you to check those out if you're not coming to campus until move-in. Students, it's really important that you claim your access to your LSU email. All of our communication about move-in and the processes leading up to that are going to be sent to your official LSU email address. So please make sure you are claiming that and setting it up, and you have all that access. You will need that to be able to select your move-in appointment through our single sign-on server in your housing portal. And then if you don't do anything else in this process, we just ask that you make sure you are following the directions our staff are giving you, whether that's via email, through the portal, or on the day of move-in. All right, and that is all of the pre-coverage we have. So we're going to turn over to the Q&A. I do want to clarify regarding appointments. Each building, each of our individual buildings, not just communities, has a set number of appointments based on how many cars we can accommodate in its assigned unloading zone at one time. Everyone in the same building, so if you're living in Acadian Hall, everyone in Acadian will be able to select their appointments at the same time. But a later selection time for a later building lower in the alphabet, like South Hall, does not mean that you are being left with the remains of what wasn't selected. So everyone in Acadian is only selecting from Acadian appointments, and then South, when it's your turn to pick, you will be selecting only from what is available to south. So there's no disadvantage to being in a higher letter building versus a lower level building, because everyone in that building is only picking from that building's available time slots. We do that simply to alleviate traffic on the server and in the portal so that we don't crash anything, and it helps us space out that appointment selection a little more in a managed flow. And if you are looking to reschedule an appointment after you've already selected one, yes, you are able to do that on your own. Again, appointments are open from July 1st through July 25th. And so during that time, you are able to go in to your housing portal and reschedule your appointment without our assistance. After that point, after July 25th, you would need to reach out to us at housing@lsu.edu to make sure that we are able to do that within the system for you once we close that out. As part of the in-community check-in process, we had a number of questions about carts and dollies. We do have a limited number of large moving bins available for students and their families to rent out for a limited amount of time. Again, we have a limited number of those, and we have more students moving in than we have access to carts. So please, if you have access to a hand truck or a dolly, we really encourage you to pack that with you. It'll just save you the headache of having to wait for one of those to become available and hauling your items in on foot. If you are moving in an earlier time slot and you then want to leave campus for lunch, do a bit of shopping, go do your ship to store pickup, that is totally fine. But again, you're only allowed access to your building's unloading zone during your move-in appointment. We will have a full appointment for or full unloading zones at the next appointment block and all of our appointment blocks in the day. And so we want you to be prepared that if you are going to leave campus and bring items back during an active unloading time that is not yours, you are going to need to park further from your building and be prepared to walk those items back. All of our appointment times for each day end at 8 p.m. And so if you are going out later in the evening, you may be able to get closer to your building, but I would expect not to park your car close. You will still need to park that further away so that our unloading zones can be maintained for the next day's appointments. But our traffic does open up with less restrictions after 8 p.m. each day of move-in. Ricky, go ahead.
Yeah, so we've had a lot of questions about students who are coming from out of state and bringing their items. How do they get items to campus? A lot of students will typically do the ship to store option. So a couple days before their move-in time slot, they will go ahead and place that order with, any large, box store retailer in the area, Walmart, Target, insert store here. You can usually do a pickup option and schedule that pickup for the day that you need. A lot of students will also utilize Amazon pickup lockers and things like that around the area and around the exterior of campus. But please be aware that those pickup lockers do also have a time limit on how long your item can be there. So please make sure you're preparing properly. We have had a lot of families who have shipped to hotels and stuff like that. And so a lot of our outside of Louisiana students will ship to their hotel, pick it up where they're staying, and then just drive to campus the next day in their rental car or whatever vehicle they're bringing to campus to make sure they have all their items. Another option is there are some UPS stores, FedEx stores, all those different kinds of retailers on the exterior of campus that will offer you to do a short amount of mailbox rental. And so you can check in on those different avenues and make sure that you're preparing properly for your move-in day. Also, you can pack light. There's no need to bring your winter coat. It will be the August heat. And so make sure you're packing light for move-in day so that way your move-in day is a breeze. And you're not stressing about getting that whole winter closet upstairs because there's no need to worry about bringing that winter coat when you've got the 100-degree August heat.
All right, there are some questions about moving furniture and coordinating with roommates and suite mates. Yes, you are more than welcome to rearrange the furniture in your room in whatever way suits how you want to live in that space. Just keep in mind that any damage to furniture after you move in, after we've inspected it, is your responsibility. And so if you move items around and damage happens to those items, you may be financially responsible upon checkout for those. We see the most of that damage when students attempt to raise or lower their bed on their own. We would love to assist you with making sure that bed height is exactly where you want it. And we just ask that you submit a work order if you're not going to utilize the loft height preference part of the appointment selection process. Our custodial staff will be happy to assist you in doing that. Just keep in mind, we're going to need all of the items off the bed. We're going to have to remove the mattress to get to that bed frame. And so we ask that you work with us so that we can assist you in that process if you are looking to do that. But yes, you can rearrange your furniture and set your room up however you like, but all of the furniture that is in the room is expected to stay in the room. We will not remove furniture, and you shouldn't be moving desk chairs or items out of that room into any of our common spaces, or vice versa, taking furniture from common spaces into your room because you like it so much. All of our first year students are automatically assigned a Tiger 12 meal plan. You are more than welcome to change that. That is done through the housing portal as you applied for housing and should have taken you to your meal plan selection. If you did not select one, once the meal plan selection deadline passes, you are assigned the Tiger 12 and then can work with our partners in dining to change that to what you prefer. At this time, meal plan selection is not yet available, but that information will be sent to you via your LSU email once it is, so that you can select what your preferred meal plan is.
And I see a lot of students who might be asking, I can't get in my LSU email. What are you talking about? My LSU email, I can't log in. And so if you are struggling to get into your LSU email, you need to contact ITS, Information Technology Services. And what they can do is they can help make sure that you have the right credentials to log into your My LSU account. It's important to make sure you have that access to that My LSU account and those login credentials, because that's how you access the housing portal, your LSU email, which is where we've been communicating with you, and all those different things that you need to know before arriving on campus. And also it's important to be able to have that when you arrive on campus, because you don't want to be frustrated with your login in the move-in lot, trying to access your hang tags or anything that you need for the move-in lot. And the next thing to know is also your LSU email. And so understanding that right now your LSU email is forwarding to your personal email address. Once you attend orientation, the system will switch it to where it stops forwarding to your personal email address. And so after you attend Binglebound orientation, whether it be virtual, whether it be on the go, or whether it be on campus, make sure you are starting to log into that LSU email. That's why it's so important to have those login credentials whenever you're in the portal.
There are some questions about resident student parking. So again, if you go to the LSU parking website and navigate to that interactive campus map, you can select residential student parking zones. That'll indicate where on campus you are allowed to park. And as a student with either an ECR tag, East Campus resident, or a WCR tag, West Campus resident, that will highlight all of those zones around campus and show you exactly where they are in relation to our building. So really recommend utilizing that interactive parking map through the parking website. All right, and we're just checking through the Q&A to make sure that we are getting all of your questions answered. So bear with us.
There's a couple questions about elevators in our residence halls and buildings. Just to note, we do not have elevators in our East and West Campus apartments and the Pentagon community, Beauregard, Jackson, Lejeune, and Taylor, but the other buildings do have elevators for use. Also, if you're looking to find out your exact room assignment and roommates or suite mates, this is located in your housing portal under My Details page. You'll find your room number and your building, and also the PAWS ID or email portion of your roommate's address. You could add at lsu.edu to reach out to them.
And we've had a few questions actually about bathroom cleaning schedules. And so at the beginning of the year, after you move in, you will get that information sent to you via email. Please know that our students living in our on-campus residence halls that are suite style, so that foyer style suite or the connecting style suite, your bathroom will be cleaned once a week by our amazing custodial staff. That exact time that your bathroom is cleaned will be emailed to you. If you are in an on-campus apartment, please know there is not someone cleaning your bathroom. So go ahead and get real, skillful in cleaning and scrubbing and all those kinds of things. And if you're in a communal style bathroom building, those are cleaned 1 to 2 times a day. And if there's ever a mess or an emergency, our custodial staff is on call and ready to make sure that the community is clean and ready for you to thrive. So that's the bathroom cleaning schedule as well. And I saw one more question about parking in the Q&A function here. And the question was, is there enough parking spots? I will say this. It's not gonna be a driveway at the front door of your dorm. You're gonna have to park and you're gonna have to walk, but there is a spot for you on campus. It just might not be at the front door of your dorm. And so if you're interested in buying that parking tag, just be prepared to park on your half of campus and maybe have to walk back to your dorm and make sure that you're well versed in where those parking lots are before you arrive by looking at the interactive campus map.
We've also got some more questions about furniture. So there's a question here about bringing your own desk chair. Yeah, if you have a preferred desk chair, you are more than welcome to bring that with you. But as I said before, you should not be expecting removal of furniture from the rooms. All of our furniture is consistent, and that's for inventory purposes. And we want to make sure that all students are provided with the same furniture experience. And so you are more than welcome to bring a desk chair, but the desk chair that is provided in that room will not be removed because of that. Some questions about renter's insurance and roommate contact. So understanding or within your housing portal, when you have your roommate assigned and when you've all selected your rooms, you'll have the contact information for your roommate available in your housing portal. You don't need to get renter's insurance before you have that information or before you have your room assignment. But we do really strongly encourage that you consider getting renter's insurance, because sometimes things happen living in shared spaces, particularly in large scale, large community buildings like a residence hall. And if something happens to your belongings that is the result of someone else's behavior, that might not be something that the university is able to assist in covering. And so having renter's insurance is a really good idea, whether you're living on campus or elsewhere, and something worth considering. And again, the dates for move-in weekend are August 15th through 17th, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 15th, 16th, and 17th. You will select your specific day to move in July 1st through 25th when our appointment selection process opens. And again, appointments on August 15th, that Friday, do incur a $200 early arrival fee. So please be mindful of that.
A few questions about the wattage for the microwaves and fridges for your room that can also be found in the Living on Campus handbook. But just a quick for you, 800 for microwaves and 150 for fridges, 5 cubic feet.
Regarding appliances as well, some questions about fans and other cooling items in our buildings. Most of our buildings do not have ceiling fans. The buildings in the Pentagon community do. Those are some of the few that do. And so if you are interested in bringing an oscillating fan or a tower fan or something like that, that you could easily put on a desk, put on the floor and plug into a wall, if that's how you enjoy experiencing your space or sleeping at night, then yes, you are more than welcome to bring a fan. There are a ton of good options at most major retailers that are ideal for residence hall spaces.
We had a question that what is the most common mistake that students make on their move-in day? And I think the most common mistake that a lot of students make on their move-in day is not listening to our staff. Move-in day is a day full of all the emotions: joy, anxiety, stress, all of the emotions. And so we want to make it as simple as possible for you and your supporters that are helping you move in. And so the biggest mistake you can make is trying to not follow our process and not follow the directions that our staff is giving you. If you follow directions and just let yourself go to the joy of the day and, make sure that you're, there and excited to start your LSU journey, I think that is the best tip, is to just follow our staff's directions. Because when you don't follow the directions, that's when things get stressful, you get turned around, you get lost, and you get denied access to your unloading zone or anything like that. And we don't want your day to be prolonged because of any wrong decisions like that. And so make sure you're listening to our staff, make sure you're reading the emails and checking all those different things. And if anyone else on the move-in crew has any different pieces of advice or common mistakes that they see for students making, I'll let them go ahead and clue in.
I was gonna say, I don't think we've mentioned yet that this is gonna be in August in Louisiana. If you need to be prepared, it is going to be hot. You're going to be moving in the heat. The volunteers are going to be out there in the heat. So we appreciate everyone's patience as that heat really stresses you out. But if you've not been to Louisiana in August, you're gonna get a rude awakening or an exciting welcome to your new home.
I would say please make sure that you're also reviewing the Living on Campus handbook. That goes over a lot of expectations as what you can and can't do or bring to your residence hall. Lots of questions about appliances and decorations and furniture and all of those pieces related to the Living on Campus experience. And so if you go to our website and you open the Living on Campus handbook, that is updated and current, and that will tell you all of the items that are permitted and those that are not. We would hate for you to pack a car full of items that we have to tell you to put back in the car and take home away from our buildings because you didn't review those in advance. And lots of questions as well about some movable furniture. Some of our buildings do have wardrobes that can be moved versus built-in closets. If you go to your building specific webpage on our website, there is a virtual tour of that will cover all those items. So if you have a question about the furniture in a specific building, I would really recommend that you go to our website, navigate to your buildings page, and check out that virtual tour, because that will cover all of that information.
And as Michael had mentioned before, we've had some other questions regarding wall decorating, hanging things on the walls. Yes, push pins are much more durable for damages in the end than our command strips. So we suggest that you use those, as it creates less wear and tear in the rooms.
And do know that some of our buildings are cinder blocks, so you cannot get a push pin in there, but that is listed in that Living on Campus handbook. So make sure you're checking out the Living on Campus handbook, so you know if your building needs the command strips or push pins based on the kind of walls that they have.
If your student is on campus for summer programs such as Summer Scholars or PSA Academy, those students will be here with us towards the end of the summer term, and we will work with them to get them transitioned to their fall space if it is different, but before move-in starts for everyone on the 15th. So have your tires look to make sure they are watching their emails, listening to their summer directors to make sure that their dates are scheduled for their move over from summer assignment to fall assignment.
I see a question about some bed rails and when we expect those to be kind of running out. The quantity is just kind of depends on how many students request them. So make sure if you need a bed rail, you're lofting your bed to the highest setting and you would like to have a bed rail, make sure you are requesting that right when you arrive, because we do have a limited number of bed rails.
The windows in all of our communities do have blinds. If you are interested in other window treatments, you are more than welcome to bring curtains and a tension rod, or hanging it with other hooks that aren't permanently secured to the wall. Just keep in mind, no items should be going between the blinds and the window, and that is per our fire marshal and against our policy. But many of our students do choose to bring curtains to spruce up their living space and provide an additional layer of privacy in their bedrooms.
We see some questions about the grad guard payments and if they can be taken out of the fee bill or anything like that. Right now, we don't have that exact answer. And so if you'll send us an email at housing@lsu.edu, we'll make sure we get an answer for you to make sure we know how those payments come out of your account.
So in those buildings that have suite baths, we do provide a shower curtain liner, but if you want to spruce it up or make it homey, you all can bring your own customized, monogrammed, furry, fuzzy, sequiny, glittery shower curtains to jazz up your spot. But we do provide the shower curtain liners.
All right, and that looks like all of our questions that we have in the Q&A. We really appreciate everyone for joining us this evening. It's been great getting to talk at you. Thank you for your engagement in the Q&A. You asked some really great questions, and we hope you learned a lot about the process. If there's anything specific that you have questions about or anything you feel we didn't cover, please email us at housing@lsu.edu, and our team will be excited to get back to you. And other than that, thanks again. It's been great, and we will see you all in August.
Yep.
Go Tigers!